Hey everybody, today we're going to take a look at Proxmox Backup Server. We're going to install it as a VM on a Proxmox VE system, and we're going to do some initial configuration work. Let's get into it. Over here on our Proxmox machine, I have already set up the framework for the virtual machine, and so I've given this 4 CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM, 32 gig boot disk, and if we look at hardware, there is a secondary disk that is 100 gigs. For testing purposes, this is great. If you are doing this on a production system, of course, spec the system so that it's going to be useful for the number of VMs and containers you might have, and for the length of time you want to be backing up. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start the install. Start now. And this is going to look like your Proxmox VE installer in large part. All right, we've got our normal EULA here. You just scroll down to the bottom and agree. Target hard disk for the install. As you can see, we've got 2 hard disks here. It does default to the smaller one. You've also got options if you want to do something different. Perhaps you want to set up a mirrored boot disk for redundancy and, save your bacon, potentially. United States, and we're going to come down to Detroit. So the password is for the root user, and then enter your email address. And next. All right, so I've already got a Proxmox backup server on my LAN, so I'm going to make this PBS2. It is defaulting to a management interface on NIC 0 and has the default gateway and DNS set up, so we should be good to go to get this installed. And final summary to review before clicking install. And now we wait. Okay, now we are prompt to go to our URL, which is 143 on port 8007. 8007. Okay, so advanced, accept, risk, and continue. Much the way you would do with Proxmox virtual environment, there are some things that you need to set up before you get to the backup portion, right? So as you can see, it says production ready enterprise repository enabled. And so we need to change this here under enterprise sources. We are going to disable that. We're going to add the no subscription source. And of course, it's going to tell you that it's not recommended for production use, which is fine because hey, most of the people that follow this channel are going to be in the home lab space, or if they're using it for a production environment, they're going to pay for the service, right? All right, so that is set up. And the other 2 repositories here are from Debian Trixie, upon which this is built. So now we're going to go over to updates and we're going to refresh. Task OK. And we've got a few updates. So let's go ahead and do that before we go any further. And this will just take a moment or 2 to finish up, and we'll be set to move on to actually connecting it to one of our Proxmox nodes. Okay, so we can go ahead and quit out of this. We'll just do a refresh and it should come up clear. Okay, so we want to add our second disk in order to use that as the actual backup storage location. So let's first go to storage and disks. We can see here we've got dev SDB that is currently unused. We're going to click on that and we're going to say initialize with GPT. Done. And then we are going to click on that again. And we are going to say directory, and create directory. File system, we're just going to go with ext4, and we're going to call this test PBS backup and say create. If we go back to data store, you can see that test PBS backup is now available over here. It will show you the amount of usage and space available. Currently we have no content, purge, or anything like that happening in this area. Okay, so we move back to the dashboard, and the thing we want to do here is we want to go to show fingerprint. And we're going to copy this. And then we're going to move to one of our Proxmox nodes. And I'm actually going to bring up the one that I use for testing most often. Which is this one here. We are going to go to add Proxmox backup server. We're going to call this PBS2 172.16.74.143. Root at PAM. Password, paste in the fingerprint. We'll look over here again to see that our data store is test PBS underscore backup. And we've got content of backup. Nodes is going to be PVE03, and we're going to say add. And if all goes well, we've got PBS2 here up at the top. So now we can move into the actual backup configuration. There are multiple ways you can do this. I'm going to go for simple, and in a follow-up video, we can take a look at other methods. If we want to back up, here's a container. We can click on the container that says not currently running. We can come down to backup. We can say backup now. Storage selected. We've got our option between multiple things going on here. 2 PBS servers. We've got a CIFS share and a local directory. We're going to use PBS2. Mode is snapshot. You can select whether you want it to be protected from deletion, which in some circumstances may be useful. PBS change detection mode. The option is data, metadata, or default. If we look at the help here, mode to detect file changes and switch archive encoding format for container backups to Proxmox backup server, not available for VM backups. Okay, we're going to leave that at default. Notes, it will put in the guest name, and we might want to add the comma and double curly brace VM ID. Because even though it's a container, they still refer to the number as the VM ID. And we can say backup. And this should not take very long to actually complete the backup. We will see momentarily. And there we go, task OK. We can close this. It does in fact show on Proxmox that we've got a backup, and it's a PBS container backup. So if we jump back to the Proxmox backup server, we can come down to test PBS backup, and we can look at content. As you can see here, it has the type and number over here, but also the name and the number under comment. We've got some actions, verify, change owner, prune, or permanently delete. So let's say we want to verify. So we can click the V here, and it's going to start a verification process. and it comes back task OK. And then under verify state, it again has all OK. Now, if we jump back to Proxmox, it has not changed the verify state yet. If we were to refresh, it should come back as OK. You might be asking yourself, what are the differences between doing a container backup and a virtual machine backup? Well, let's take a look at that right now. If we come down here, here is a demo server I set up using Ubuntu. We can come down to backup, and the process starts off the same. We're going to go to PBS2. It's a snapshot. We're going to use global settings for notifications, which I don't have set up at the current time. And then we are going to say we've got the guest name. And we might go a little different on this one and put node in curly braces. And we'll say backup. And the rest of this is very similar. This will take a little bit longer, so while we're waiting on this, I'm going to jump back to Proxmox backup server so we can observe what's happening in real time. If we refresh this, we can see that we've got our virtual machine coming over. On dashboard, we can see that there's CPU usage and other things that are available we can monitor. And really, the best thing to do at this point is to just monitor from the Proxmox VE side. And as you can see, we've completed our backup process for a virtual machine. We have now covered the basic setup of Proxmox backup server, and we have confirmed that everything is working. We're able to back up both containers and virtual machines. Now, what I'm showing on the screen is the Proxmox backup server documentation. I will link to this in the description. And if you're going to use this product, I highly recommend taking a look through the documentation. It's honestly been a couple of version numbers since I've gone through the docs, and I'm going to use this as an opportunity to take a look through myself. So take a look. After this video, let me know in the comments, what questions do you still have? How can I assist you in making better use of this product? Obviously, I'm not affiliated with Proxmox. I am not a developer. And so if I can't answer your question, I'm going to refer you one of two places, either the documentation as a starting point, or the second is the Proxmox forums, where you can actually interact with people that work on the product. Alternatively, you can also look at places like Spiceworks and Reddit and potentially find assistance there. And on that note, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.